So I moved into a great new condo. I have lots of money to do whatever I want with it. And I resisted the initial desire to get it all sorted out and get the art and get the furniture. And I thought, I don't want to do anything in a rush. I don't know. I'm not going to do it for anybody else. I'm just going to take my time. Only to find that I just, couldn't do it. It's this feeling of not knowing what I want. I know that the truth is that I probably do know what I want. It's about preference, and I think there's a part of me who, with the absolute freedom to do whatever I want, is unsure of.
Which is true of all of you, whether you know it or not.
Yes.
The absolute freedom to do whatever you want.
Yes.
It's just a matter of figuring out what that is.
Yes, and actually feeling that it's okay to be okay with what my preference is. I think that perhaps there's some muddying in my energy about what it's supposed to be.
Let's talk about this. Do you really think it's about questioning your right to choose?
Maybe.
Or do you just feel like you want to collect more data? Or does it feel like such a big thing that you want to get it right, so you don't want to do something that you have to undo?
There's some of that in there.
Because those are about the options that most people are grappling with.
Right.
So you think it is the third one, that it's more like you really want to get it right?
Maybe.
Now, you said something that was very good. You said, I don't need to do it all at once.
Yeah.
And that sounded a bit like you were relishing the idea of enjoying the process.
Yes. Trying to do it in a way that I haven't done it before, of feeling it out.
So how do you usually do it?
Well, I haven't usually had the amount of choice that I have.
But what did you mean? I want to do it in a way that's different than I usually do it.
Well, in the past I would have gone, well, I don't, this is what I can afford and I'll do that and this will work and we'll fit it all together, and it kind of pleases me.
So your budget limited you, and in the limitation there were fewer choices, which made it easier for you.
Yes.
So this unlimitedness is freaking you out.
Yeah. And and I'm saying it's about decor, but I think it has to do with everything in my life.
You're hitting buttons for everyone else as well. In other words, when you're truly understanding that you are unlimited, but let's just soothe that right away. Do you think that's the question that we're asking? If you truly are unlimited, then how do you choose? It's a little bit like the genie and the bottle and the 3 wishes. And one of your wishes is more wishes. And the genie never let you get away with that, but we will.
Right.
In other words, what about giving yourself that latitude, that you don't have to figure it out? Jerry would say to Esther, in the situation very similar to this, well, if we don't like it, we'll just change it.
I know.
Esther would say, well, how do I know that this is really what we're going to want? And he would say, well, if we don't, then we'll just change it. And Esther would think, wow.
Yeah, it's a concept.
Wow.
It's a concept, man.
You mean I get to keep choosing and keep choosing and keep choosing, and I get to continue to choose, and that maybe I don't have to figure everything out in advance. I can just do the best that I can do from where I am, and then evaluate, and then make another decision.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the ideal situation perhaps would be that I just didn't.
That is the ideal situation.
That is the ideal situation.
The ideal
to
situation.
Just go with my preferences, not with any plan in mind, and to enjoy the process.
We would get to the basis of intentions first. What do you think is the most important component of how a space bees? What matters to you most? Is it the wow factor that others feel when they walk in? Is it the comfort factor that you feel when you live there? Is it the satisfaction of dreaming big and achieving it? What rings your bells the most of those choices?
lots of parts of all of the different things. I'm an extremely changeable person. One day it would be one thing, and then next it would be another.
So let's take the first one, the wow factor of pleasing others when they walk in. People really have different impressions of what they like. So if you please that one, you're not going to please that one. And if you please that one, you're not going to please that one. And you're not going to please that one. If you please it. And so if you're factoring that in, then you're going to have to pick a motif and then limit your company to those. And so you may want to do a survey and then make it the way the most would like it, so you're not lonely. Now we're being silly, of course, but so that's not what it is. Now here's the question. Can you identify? This is a really good question. Can you identify what you want separate from the opinions of others?
I think this is the crux of my question,
We think
because it
so
feels
too.
about identity for me.
So can you? Can you identify your desire separate from others' opinions about your choices?
I can, fleetingly, yes.
It's the best question ever, because it's at the crux of what you're all living, no matter what the subject is. Can I separate my opinion from the opinions of others? Can I separate what I really want? So now we're getting closer to the basis of this. So when we ask you these questions, you said, well, it's a little bit of all of those things. But what matters the most in an environment is the way you feel in it. So what are the components of a good feeling environment for you?
Color.
All right, so we're talking visual.
Yeah.
So color.
Light, space, beauty.
All right, so
and peace.
Now let's get a little more specific. So color, light, space, and peace. Color, light, space, and peace. So you like closed-in spaces or open spaces?
Open.
You like lighter colors or heavier colors?
Lighter.
This isn't so hard, is it?
No.
So now don't you have a feel for this place? In other words, now that you've opened it up and now that you've sort of colored it the way that you feel good, how do you feel in that place? How does it feel? Does it feel peaceful to you as you think about it?
It feels alive.
Now put yourself in it and just sort of feel around. How does it feel?
It feels exciting or vibrant.
Feels vibrant. It feels like a place that you want to be.
Yeah.
Does it feel satisfying because you've created something that is pleasing to you?
Yeah.
Now we've left out of the equation all of how it's going to come together. We've just fast forward to the feeling of it. But can you feel in the doing of that, you've picked a vibrational spinning grid disc. Vocabulary is evolving, isn't it? You've picked a vibrational spinning grid disc, and it feels, how does it feel? It feels free, it feels possible, it feels easy, it feels fun, it feels exhilarating, it feels inspiring, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So now let's get that momentum going more. When you focus upon a subject, the specifics of it begin to occur to you, and the specifics as they begin to occur to you is part of the grid filling in. So what we've done here is we poked around. You were sort of all over the place in terms of how you felt a little like a struggle, and a little like indecision, and a little like trying to please others, and a little, but eventually without a lot of work you got to that place and established a vibration, and it's a high-flying, good-feeling vibration. So now let's focus there on that space. Can't you all sort of feel it? So let's focus there on that space, and now feeling that way, there's no resistance within you, really. There isn't, which is remarkable in an environment like this. Remarkable in the sense that you're sort of in the spotlight, and yet it all feels pretty easy. So now we want you to have the experience of the grid filling in, because now you're there, it can't not. The momentum has already begun. So now let your mind be the receiver of more specific detail as you fill in that space. Just ramble.
Just ramble? Me?
Yeah.
About the things that I want?
About this space.
About
this space, about your experience with this space. It's going to be really fun to watch things come. It's going to be really fun to begin looking, because now I have a clear sense of who I am and what I want and how I want to feel. So now as I move around and I introduce myself to fabrics and colors and textures and furniture and things, because I have this remarkable plethora of resources that I can flood toward it. Now as I move around, I can see, ooh, that fits, not so much that fits, not so much that fits, ooh, not so much that. It's going to be really fun to move through the materials of this world and bring them into my space. Doesn't that feel good?
Yeah. It feels different. It feels...
Now, don't talk yourself out of any
I
momentum.
won't. No.
Because in talking about difference, sometimes you introduce what was there before. So just...
No, I get aware of these other energies wanting to come in and pop me out of there of like, I hate doing that stuff. I don't want to search for shit. I hate like... this kind of... I hate shopping. I don't want to do it. But it's because it doesn't come from a joy. Like what I want is it to be a joyful alignment with the things I see around me.
You just undid the beautiful work that we had just done together. That's all right, because you never get it done. So now, how are you going to get back there?
I'm going to get back there by letting myself enjoy seeing in the world what.
So the question is,
how
far did you dip? Don't go back to the beginning, but how far did you dip in that? Because you were there, you were feeling it, and we don't even want to ask you at what point the vibration took a dip. Just get back to that free feeling space. That free feeling space. I have the resources that I can put toward it. I believe in law of attraction. I know things will come to me. I know what I like when I see it. I know what feels good and what doesn't feel good. I live in a world where everything is available to me. I can just sit in front of my computer and Google, and things will come up, and I can feel whether they feel good. Maybe I'm wanting to start in a central place. Maybe I'm wanting to start with paint color. Maybe the paint color that appeals to me most is
pink.
Versions of pink. Pink as in nature. Pink as in the sky. Soft, powdery.
Roses.
Pinks and roses. So, now what?
Oh, there's a million ways I can go. I see that I can go in any way I want to.
But that's a problem. A million ways is what your problem is. Okay. A million ways is what's got you scattered all over the place. A million ways is what makes you feel confused. A million ways is what makes you not want to shop. A million ways is what makes you feel overwhelmed. You see, you've just got to focus on something that you like and maintain the vibration of that until a next idea with ease comes. Now, it may be that that's as much time as you want to spend, because we had pretty good momentum going and then you got pretty practical about it. So you might have to do that 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or 30 or 100 times until you have achieved a steady vibrational alignment with that place. But it doesn't take much of that before something flows into your experience that gives you the ease. Now, something else has shown up here as we've been visiting, and that is, not only do you want this space that feels really good, but you want it to come about more easily. And there's a contradiction within you. It happens within most of you, that you want it to be easy, but you want your opinion to count for something. You want it to be easy, but you don't want it to be someone else's creation. You want it to be easy, but you don't want to introduce somebody else that sort of takes it off in a screwy place. And there's a contradiction. I want to do it, but I don't want to do it. I want to do it, but I'm not sure I can do it. And so that's the vibration that we can feel is most dominant within you, that's keeping you from being able to stay there easily. But we promise you that if you will just go back to what you do know and what feels good, hear those words. If I will go back to what I do know that does feel good, if I will go back to what I do know that does feel good, and I'll just hold myself there for 17 seconds and another 17 seconds and another and another and another. And as you do a little of it today and a little bit tomorrow and a little of the next day, what will happen is that vibration will become dominant enough that everything that is necessary to get you to where you think you want to be will start flowing into your experience with an ease like nothing that